Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are diving into something that is, honestly, absolutely fascinating. We're going to explore the ancient Vedic science of consciousness and the hidden, almost unbelievable power behind the very words we speak every single day. If you've ever wondered about the actual mechanics of mantras or how ancient texts describe the physical and spiritual impact of sound, well, you are exactly in the right place. Okay, let's just jump right into this.
So think about this for a second. Are your words just sound, or are they literally the energy of the universe? It's a pretty profound question, right? We usually just treat our words as simple, everyday tools, just sounds we make with our vocal cords to order coffee or chat with a friend. But the source material we're looking at today suggests that everyday speech, that's just the tip of the iceberg. What if the words you speak are actually a direct manifestation of cosmic energy? Let's unpack exactly how these texts explain that wild phenomenon.
Kamadenu and Divine Mother.
Ancient truthy texts really lay the foundation for everything we're about to discuss. There's this one incredibly famous verse that essentially translates to the idea that goddess speech was created by the divine and all beings speak it. But the text goes way further than that. It defines this speech as kamadanu, which is a cosmic, wish-fulfilling power. It's telling us that speech isn't just a mundane tool. It's actually the mother of the gods. It's the very life force that sustains all of us.
Now, according to the texts, speech actually exists in two main forms. First, there's the word spoken by the physical tongue. But then, and this is crucial, there is paravak, that is the subtle, inner voice. It doesn't live in your vocal cords at all. It resides deep in your consciousness in the form of knowledge, desire, and cosmic energy. It's this incredibly powerful internal force that actually requires cultivation.
Section 2. The 4 levels of speech.
All right, so here is the actual roadmap of our own speech. When you say a word out loud, you're at step 1, Vaikari. But before that sound ever left your mouth, it was a thought in your mind, right? That's Majjhima. Digging even deeper, before it was a coherent thought, it was just an intuitive, subtle perception. That's Pashanti. And at the very source, the absolute root of it all, is Para, the deepest realm of consciousness. This perfectly illustrates our journey inward, moving from everyday chatter to our deepest cosmic connection.
Now, what's incredibly fascinating here is the stark contrast. Most of us, honestly, spend our entire lives operating solely on that Vaikari level. We just use gross, spoken words for everyday worldly transactions. But the text insists, and I mean really insists, that the true power of manifestation lies entirely in the unseen Para level. It's the energetic seed. Without tapping into Para, our words are completely superficial.
Section 3. Inner Self and Sadhana.
The text uses a super relatable analogy to explain this. Think about your physical body for a minute. To keep it healthy, strong, and functioning, you know you need a good diet and regular exercise. The exact same logic applies to your inner self, your antakarana. To keep your inner self healthy and to actually purify and empower that deep paravak, you have to engage in sadhana, focused spiritual practice. You literally have to work out your inner consciousness just as actively as you work out your physical muscles.
And the texts do not pull any punches about what happens if we skip this inner workout. Neglecting sadhana actually causes our consciousness to become degraded and downward flowing. Your mind starts clouding up with negative emotions, which ultimately leads individuals to act destructively toward themselves and the people around them. Just like a neglected physical body gets sluggish and sick, a neglected inner self corrupts our internal energy. We essentially turn into a source of suffering rather than a source of light.
Section 4. Vishwamitra and Mantra Science.
To ground this in history, the source material highlights the legendary sage Vishwamitra. And here's the thing. He didn't achieve greatness by just mindlessly uttering the syllables of the famous Gayatri mantra at that superficial Vaikari level. Not at all. Instead, he used rigorous sadhana to tap all the way down into the paravak. By doing that, he transformed those basic syllables into a profound realization of immense cosmic power. He basically unlocked the mantra's true massive potential.
This analogy from the text really hits the nail on the head for how this actually works. It compares ordinary words to a dead metal wire. A wire sitting there on a table doesn't do much of anything, right? But the second electricity flows through it, it becomes powerful. It's alive. In the exact same way, awakened internal consciousness, that spiritual energy, acts as the electricity that charges our ordinary spoken words with dynamic cosmic force.
So, the crucial point here is the actual mechanical cycle of mantra sadhana. First, the gross word is spoken. Then, it descends deep into the inner consciousness. Down there in the depths, it absorbs that spiritual energy we were just talking about.
Finally, it rises back up, so charged that it vibrates the entire universe. The text beautifully compares this to dropping a pot deep into a well. The effort to pull it up, that's the practice, and the water-filled pot you bring back to the surface is the spiritual attainment.
Section 5. Awakening of Shabda Brahma.
When you reach this peak, we encounter a concept called Shabda Brahma. The texts define this as the ultimate cosmic sound. Usually, it just lies completely dormant, sleeping in the vast ocean of consciousness. But when it is actively awakened by a practitioner's highly refined paravak, its vibration is so profound that it literally sets the entire universe in motion. Your inner voice connects directly with the engine of creation itself.
To show you just how literal the texts mean this, the source material links the fundamental elements of our physical reality straight back to the power of the word. From that cosmic sound, or space, manifests air, fire, water, and earth. As a practitioner's power of Vak awakens and becomes subtler, the text asserts that they actually gain a level of influence over the three realms, the earth, the atmosphere, and heaven.
Normally, as you know, our speech is completely outward flowing. We talk constantly to the world around us. But through mantra sadhana, this tendency is completely reversed. You flipped a switch. We turn that energy inward. And the texts explain that this reversal of flow is the exact mechanism for achieving liberation, spiritual gifts, and unlocking these truly extraordinary divine capabilities.
Section 6. Universal Welfare and Brahma Yagya. Now we move into why this matters for the world at large. The text introduces the concept of Brahma Yagna, using a highly visual comparison. Imagine a traditional ritual. When you pour ghee into a fire, you immediately get bright, roaring physical flames, right? Similarly, when a practitioner pours their purified paravak into cosmic action, when they deliberately direct this refined energy outwardly for others, it acts as a supreme spiritual ritual. It literally creates divine light in a dark, suffering world.
The impacts of this Brahma Yagya are incredibly profound. We aren't just talking about sending good vibes here. The text explicitly states that this level of energetic practice actively showers the world with peace and prosperity. It alleviates global sorrow, and most fascinatingly, it claims that this purified intention actually vibrates the very atoms of the universe, directing humanity towards progress and tranquility. And this brings us to the absolute ultimate takeaway from this explainer. The source material teaches that when a human being's paravak is completely purified through dedicated practice, it actually merges with the divine will. Think about that. The purified human mind and voice are no longer separate entities, they become the actual instruments of divine intention. They become capable of shifting the very direction of the world's flow.
So I'll leave you with this somewhat provocative thought. Knowing the sheer mechanics of consciousness now, and the hidden power behind your words, in what direction is your paravak flowing today? Are your words just creating everyday noise, or are you actively cultivating the energy to shift the world around you? Take a moment to really reflect on that. Thanks so much for joining me on this incredible journey through the science of cosmic speech.